strange Lord Windermere isn't here. Mr. Hopper is very late too. You have kept the last 5 dances for him, Agatha?
Yes, Mama.
Just let me see your dance card. The last 5 dances, you might be passed on the terrace with Mr. Hopper.
Yes, Mama.
The air is so pleasant here.
Lady Jedburgh. Miss Graham. Mr. Hopper.
How do you do, Lady Windermere? How do you do, Duchess?
Dear Mr. Hopper, how nice of you to come so early. We all know how in demand you are in London.
Capital Place, London. They're not nearly so exclusive as they are in Sydney.
Yes, we know your value, Mr. Hopper, and we wish there were more like you. It would make life so much easier. Do you know that, Mr. Hopper? Agatha and I are so much interested in Australia. It must be so pretty with all the dear little kangaroos flying about. Agatha has found it on the map. What a curious shape it is, just like a large packing case. However, it is a very young country, isn't it?
Wasn't it made at the same time as the others, Duchess?
How clever you are, Mr. Hopper. You have a cleverness quite of your own. Now I mustn't keep you.
But I would like to dance with Lady Agatha.
Well, I hope she has a dance left. Have you a dance left, Agatha?
Yes, Mama.
The next one?
Yes, Mama.
May I have the pleasure?
Mind you take great care of the little chatterbox, Mr. Hopper.
Margaret, I want to speak to you.
In a moment.
Lord Augustus Lawton.
Good evening, Lady Windermere.
Lord Darlington.
Want to speak to you particularly, dear boy. What I want to know is this. Who is she? Where does she come from? Why hasn't she got any damned relations? Damned nuisance relations. But they make one so damned respectable.
You are talking of Mrs. Erling, I suppose. I only met her 6 months ago. Till then, I never knew of her existence.
You have seen a good deal of her since then.
Yes, I have seen a good deal of her since then. I have just seen her.
The women are very hateful towards her. I have been dining with Mrs. Paisley this evening. By Jove, you should have heard what she said about Mrs. Erling. Look here, dear boy. I don't know what to do about her. I meant to be married to her. She treats me with such damn indifference. She is clever too. She explains everything. She explains you. She has got lots of explanations for you, and all of them different.
No explanations are necessary about my friendship with Mrs. Erling.
Well, look here, the old fellow. Do you think she will ever get into this damned thing called society? Would you introduce her to your wife?
Mrs. Erling is coming here tonight.
Your wife has sent her card?
Mrs. Erling has received it.
That is all right, my dear boy. But why didn't you tell me that before? It would have saved me a heap of worry. The damned misunderstandings.
Mr. Cecil Graham.
Good evening, Arthur. Why don't you ask me how I am? I like people to ask me how I am. It shows a widespread interest in my health. Hello, Tuppy! Heard you are going to be married again. Thought you are tired of that again.
You are excessively trivial, my dear boy. Excessively trivial.
By the way, which is it? Have you been twice married and once divorced, or twice divorced and once married? I say you've been twice divorced and once married. It seems so much more probable.
I have a very bad memory. I really don't remember it.
Margaret, I must speak to you.
That woman is not come here.
Margaret, if you and I wanted her, we'll be ashamed and so are us both. Remember that. Margaret, only trust me. A wife should trust her husband.
London is full of women who trust their husbands. One can always recognize them. They look so thoroughly unhappy. Lord Darlington, will you hold my fan for me, please? Thanks. I want a friend today, Lord Darlington. I didn't know I want one so soon.
I know the time will come someday. But why tonight?
I will tell her. I must. It would be terrible if there were anything. Margaret,
Mrs. Erling!
You have to defend Lady Windermere.
How do you do again, Lord Windermere? How charming your sweet boy floats. Quite a picture.
it was terribly rash of you to come.
The wisest thing I ever did in my life. And by the way, you must pay me a good deal of attention this evening. The men I can always manage, but I'm afraid of the women. You must introduce me to some of them. How do you do, Lord Augustus? You've been quite neglected to me lately. I have not seen you since yesterday.
No, really, Mrs. Erling, allow me to explain.
No, my dear Lord Augustus, you can't explain anything. It is your chief charm.
If you find charms in me, Mrs. Erling, I believe I will do well after marrying you.
How very practical. Hasn't anyone warned you against me?
Yes, everyone, but Margaret,
Put it away, Lord Augustus. You can presume to call me Margaret, but don't presume that you know my heart.
listen, you don't have to love me right away. I'm a very rich man. Think about the money first.
Suppose I marry you. In a year, your business goes down, and I will be stuck with the pauper.
On the other hand, I can join Dad in my club next Tuesday, and you will be left with very well heritage. Life is like gambling, Margaret.
I don't know what to say.
Then, say nothing. You will consider an offer, won't you?
You don't want to hear the answer, Lord Augustus, do you? Why not ask me that again tomorrow?
How pale you are.
Words are always pale.
You look faint. Come out on the terrace.
Yes, Harper. Send my coat out.
Lady Windermere, how beautiful your terrace is. How do you do, Mr. Graham? Isn't that your Aunt Lady Draper? I should so much like to know her.
Oh, certainly, if you wish it. Allow me to introduce Mrs. Erling.
So pleased to meet you, Lady Draper. Your nephew and I are great friends. I'm so much interested in his political career. He's such a brilliant talker too, but we all know from whom he inherits that. Lord Allendale was saying to me only yesterday in the park that Mr. Graham talks almost as well as his aunt.
Oh, most kind of you to say these charming things to me.
Did you introduce Mrs. Erling to Lady Jabber?
Couldn't help it, my dear fellow. That woman can make one do anything she wants. And how? I don't know.
How good did she once speak to me?
On Thursday, With great pleasure. What a bore it is to have to be civil to these old women. But they always insist on it.
Who is that well-dressed woman talking to Windermere?
You haven't got the slightest idea.
So that is poor Dumby with Lady Plymdale. I hear she's frightfully jealous of him. He doesn't seem anxious to speak to me tonight. I suppose he's afraid of her. Do you know Lord Windermere? I think I shall dance with you first. How do you do, Mr. Dumby? I'm so sorry I've been out the last 3 times I've called. Come and lunch on Friday.
Delighted.
What an absolute brute you are! I never can believe a word you say. Why did you tell me you didn't know her? What do you mean by calling her 3 times already? You are not to go to lunch there. Of course, you understand that.
My dear, I wouldn't dream of going.